Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back in the kitchen. I don't know why. I'm going to try not to make so many kitchen videos. For me, there are probably two perfect foods in the world. One is pizza, and then the other is the egg. The egg is probably the most versatile single piece of food ever created by God. And today we're going to make one of my favorite things to eat when cooking eggs. And I cook eggs a lot of different ways. But one of the things we're going to do today, or the thing we're going to do today, is we're going to make a French omelet. While I'm whisking the eggs, I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven on, or my stovetop on, to medium. And then we're going to break some eggs here. I don't do the fancy one-handed egg break thing. I just try to keep the eggshells out as much as possible. Now I'm using extra large eggs today, and they're brown eggs. Although that's not important. Brown, white eggs, doesn't matter. Sometimes I use extra large, sometimes I use jumbo. We're just going to break these up. Let me grab a little salt here. I'm going to go ahead and salt it. Some people who cook French omelets tell you not to put the salt in. Some other people tell you to put the salt in. I put it in only because by whisking it in, I get a nice, even flavor of saltiness. So I'm just going to whisk this up. What you don't want is something where, and I don't know if you can see this in this particular, okay. Here I've got some air in it, which is good, but I'm also seeing bits and flecks of egg white that's still separate. So you want to make sure that you keep whisking. The egg will actually change color just slightly. It'll get a little lighter, and it needs to come off of the whisk very, very smoothly, like a true liquid. Okay, so we've got that done. I'm going to reset the camera over here on the stove, and we'll look at how to cook this sucker up. So I've got my pan on medium heat, and I'm just going to put in about a tablespoon of butter. And I'm going to let that melt down a bit. The thing about the French omelet is that you can't walk away from this food. It's going to take a while to get started, but once you get down to where it is sort of coming together, it's going to come together really fast. And if you leave it, it's going to burn. And the thing about the French omelet is you want it to be nice and smooth yellow on the outside, a little gooey on the inside. And typically with the French omelet, I will add goat cheese. I'm not going to do that today because it gets my fingers all messy, and then I've got to slow myself down for the video. But you can add whatever you want to inside. I don't recommend adding meats and things because you want the egg to be nice and soft and fluffy, not crunchy. This is coming together. You want to make sure that the pan is covered in butter. You'll see it starting to bubble a little bit, which tells me that the butter's nice and hot. I will be cooking this on medium, but I will also be taking it off the heat from time to time because I don't want it to set too quickly on the bottom. I want to keep it going. So the secret to the French omelet is to continue to sort of swirl it around a little bit and create some what they call curds in the egg. and to do a little bit of shaking in the process. And what this does, number one, it keeps the egg moving. But number two, if I can get all that off the edge here. Number two, it also sort of opens up holes in the bottom of the pan for the liquid egg to continue to sort of fold down and get the heat. So you can see it's starting to curd up pretty good. I'm going to turn the heat down because I see a little steam coming off of it, and I don't want it to cook that fast. And so as it's cooking, you just want to kind of keep layering it out a little bit. Make sure that the bottom of it stays nice and smooth, even while you are creating these curds. Because what the top of the omelet looks like doesn't really matter. It's what's underneath. I'm just going to put a little bit of steam to it, but I'm not going to let it go too long. I don't want it, again, I don't want it to burn on the bottom. That's a no-no. One of the things that I do, you can see, if you're looking at this top-down thing, on this side of the omelet, it's come together pretty good, but on this side of the omelet, it's still wet. So I'm just going to move my pan over, bring the heat up a little bit more, let that edge of the pan get hot. So I'm just going to let that settle a little bit, not too long. And that's looking better. It's still got a little bit of a sheen to the top, which is what we want. And I'm going to take this off the heat. I'm just going to let it sit there for a little bit and let it continue to sort of cook a little bit from the residual heat of the pan. And let's move back over to get ready to plate this thing up. Okay, hopefully I've not let this go too long. Well, I had to move all the cameras around, but you can sort of see this is what it looks like in the pan. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll it over just a little bit. I am going to add just a tad bit of butter, not much, but you can't see that yet, but just that little bit of butter so that as I'm rolling it, that butter can kind of coat the edges again. And I don't know how best to show this on maybe this camera right here will look better. So I'm just going to roll it a little bit more. I'm going to let the butter come down for it. Roll it a little bit more. Let the butter coat it again. And then I am going to add, it came undone just a little bit on me. That's okay. This little piece right here should stay tucked under. And typically, chefs will sort of roll these edges together so that you can see that I now have a nice glistening omelet. I can leave it just like that. I'm going to put just a little bit of cracked pepper on it because I like the way it looks on the plate. And then we will cut it open. And what you should have inside, it should be sort of done on the outside, but then it should be sort of light and fluffy and still a little bit undercooked inside. And then, of course, the true test comes with the last thing you need, which is a fork. So I think that's going to be out of focus in that camera. Let's see if we can put it up here. This will be the finished product. Let's give it a taste. Oh, man. Out of all the ways that I like to have eggs, the French omelet is by far the best. So let me know in the comments what you think. Go home, give it a try. You're not going to do very well with it the first, 25 or 30 times you try it. but it will make you a wonderful, wonderful breakfast and keep you full all morning. And we'll see you next time.